Hi, Dr. Alan Markowitz from Great Boca Smiles. I hope you're all doing well. I've had a number of calls of people that have lost their crowns, and I'm not able to see you unless you're in pain or infected. So I decided to coach you on a video on how to put your crown back without seeing me. Um, you'll need a professional sander. You will also need a steamer to clean your crown. I'm just kidding. And you won't need professional cements either. So you don't need the steamer. I just like using it. I really miss it since I have nothing to use it on. Anyway, I brought my assistant today, my little Easter buddy. Happy Easter to those that are celebrating, and happy Passover since that's coming up too. You will definitely need your crown in to eat that matzah on Wednesday. So these are different models of different crowns, different types of situations that you're going to find. And I went to the store and I bought two products that you're going to commonly see. One is called Recap It, which I think is the easiest one to use. And the other one is more for filling holes in your crowns or teeth. And I'll give you an example of that. This one's very thick and a little harder to use. So let's get to it. You'll need alcohol to clean out your crown. You can use a hand sanitizer. If you don't have that, you can use Q-tips at home and clean it with soapy water. Now, if you're going to put it in yourself, wash your hands real well. You want to clean under your fingernails. Remember, happy birthday twice, sing it, 20 seconds. But a little bit more this time, just to wash your, and clean your fingers. If you're going to do it for somebody else and you don't have gloves at home and you have to do what we used to call wet finger dentistry, which is gross, but if there's no choice, then again, wash your hands really well. Scrub under your fingernails. I am not going to do a demo on that, but you know what to do. All right, so I'm going to put on my gloves. You guys have to put on your loops at home. No, I'm kidding. You don't need loops, but I will need my glasses because I can't see anything without them. All right. No, I can see just fine, but it'll help me. So just pretend there's dirt in here. You're going to use your edge of a Q-tip, which you can cut with a scissor, and you can clean out the crown. If you don't have alcohol, a little hand sanitizer, which is really alcohol anyways, goes a long way, and you can scrub it out. We use gauze in my dental practice to help out with stuff like this. In your case, you can cut up tissue into what would look like gauze, and you can clean out your crown, okay? So just kind of use what you have at home once you've gone to the store to get your Dentep Recap It. And no, I don't get any royalties from this company. It was just at Walgreens today. I did wear a mask when I went in. That's the recommendation from the CDC, and I recommend that you all do that. So here's the important part. So once you get your tooth cleaned up, okay, this is somebody's mouth, okay, the teeth come together. So just to show you, so this would be like here on me, and you would see a stump, a tooth stump, that's in your mouth, that the crown would fit over. Now the crown can only fit one way. So in this case, the crown goes this way. If I reverse it, you can see it doesn't really fit. It won't go down. So it can only fit one way. And it would be in this position in my jaw. So you don't get confused, you can take a Sharpie, and it will not stain it permanently, and just make a mark on it so you see which side to put it back in. So when you're actually doing the job, you don't freak out and say, how does it go in? Okay, so the secret is not to use too much cement. If you use a bunch of cement, then your crown's not going to go all the way down. So you need just enough to put it down. So I'm going to take my crown off, and I like to sanitize the package, which is nice because it has plastic and it's not cardboard if you want to be really clean about it. I'm going to put a little bit of the cement here. I'm going to use my tissue gauze that I made at home or in my office for you at home. I'm going to squirt a little bit out, and I will use the edge of a Q-tip. You can pretend that these are fancy toothpicks, and I'm going to take a little bit and I'm going to put it around the inside of the crown. Just a little. I'm not filling it up. And the reason is that I don't want a bunch of cement to end up on your gums and create an infection. So very lightly painted inside. Okay, I already know the location of it. Okay, this is towards the cheek. I marked it, and boom, crown is cemented with just a little bit of excess cement. Now what's going to be important at home is to make sure it goes down. So you have two options. You can roll up your tissue and put it over the crown in your mouth and bite on it and put the crown down, like really force it. Just enough that it stays seated. If you don't like the feeling of tissue, you can take your Q-tip, put it over the tooth, do the same thing, and gently just bite down and squeeze it down, and take it out and just bite down on the crown to make sure it feels normal to you. Okay, so if it feels normal to you, you got it all the way down. All right, this stuff does not have a catalyst to set. It sets with moisture. Your tooth will be a little bit wet, you know, when you put it on. Also, before you start, brush that tooth, get it nice and clean, and make sure that, you know, there's no debris in between or on it. So you want to clean it up really nicely, and then again you can bite on the Q-tip, and then kind of keep your teeth closed for at least 10 minutes, and don't eat anything for an hour. Okay, so that's this one. That's a back tooth. Let's say it's a front tooth, which would really bother me if I was missing a front tooth. So again, this is a model. Here's the tooth. If you should see a stump that the tooth would fit over, and you know, you'll orient your crown. In this case, it's kind of obvious what's front, what's back, but if you're worried about it, remember, it can only fit one way. It can't fit in the reverse. So there's no way to do this wrong unless you drop it on the floor. So just to be safe, this time I'm going to mark it on the back side of the crown. So now you know that if you see the mark in the front of your tooth, if it's in the reverse, then you're on the wrong side. So the right side is in the back. You get it? This way you don't have to worry about walking around with a black line. It will eventually come off. Okay, so I still have plenty of cement here. This is still drying. Remember, you want to give this an hour to set before you do anything, like eating, or you can talk. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to gently paint it. Maybe I'll add a little bit more. I feel like Martha Stewart. And I'm going to place it in the right orientation. On a front tooth, you do not bite on a Q-tip or on a tissue. Hold it with your finger instead. And then bite down just with your teeth without anything in between your teeth, because you can end up breaking your tooth. So just push it down with your finger nice and snug. Close your teeth together, make sure it feels normal. Okay, and then wait a good hour before you eat on it. Okay, so before I get too boring, this is a situation where maybe there's a hole in your tooth. Okay, so this stuff called Dentec comes in a little jar, and the material is like a solid putty that will harden with water. They give you this cool little tool. You can take a little bit off, just a little teeny bit, and just kind of put it in the hole. And you can use your Q-tip to smooth it over. And then of course, bite down on it to make sure it doesn't interfere with your bite. This is a full mouth. And give it a good hour to set, and it'll do its job. Okay, these materials are relatively inexpensive. For those of you who do not want to go to a store because you're worried about getting the virus, or you don't have a mask to wear, you can call me. My office number is 561-477-6556. I will come and meet you in the parking lot and give you your own little kit of home